Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Teal Garcia. If you are not new here, thank you for coming back. Today we're going to do some editing. So as you know, if you've been here a little while, I really love Photoshop, and I am a firm believer in that there are things you can do in Photoshop that you cannot do in Lightroom. Well, because I was digging around on YouTube looking for something else, I found some settings that I want to play with in Lightroom that I think I, even a Photoshop lover, might actually start to use. So I was playing around with them a little bit, and what we're going to play with exactly is the new masking stuff in Lightroom. I say new because it's new to me, but I haven't really messed with it until like yesterday, but I'm finding that it's pretty cool, and I think I like where I like the possibilities of this. So what we're going to do, so I've chosen this photo right here, and the reason I've chosen this photo is because I really like the background, like I love the moodiness of the background. So if I try to up the exposure of the whole photo, because they are a little bit dark, if I try to up the exposure of the whole photo, that moodiness behind them kind of starts to get washed out. So what I want to do, and with these masking tools, I want to just brighten them up a little bit. And again, I've done this in Photoshop 100 times. Lightening or darkening the background or the subject by itself, I can do it with my eyes closed in Photoshop. But I know Photoshop is super intimidating for people, so I'm happy that I have found this in here so that I can show you how to do it. So the first thing that we want to do is come over here, and there's this little circle with the polka dots around it, and that is our masking. So we're going to click on that, and forever, Photoshop has had brushes, right? So this brush option, you can kind of brush, let me show you real fast. So you can kind of brush, and it'll show red, and then just in that area that you brushed, you can change things, right? Like crazy. Okay, let me get rid of that. But what we're going to mess with today is going to be the select subject. And I'm going to show you a little bit about this, but first I'm going to click that, and it's going to be all smart and select just the people. And it's not going, because there's a lot going on here, I know already that it's not going to select just the people. It's going to select other things, but then I'll show you how to fix that. So we're going to go select subject. It's going to detect. And you can see there in red what it has selected. So let's say you have like a model standing all alone in a field. This is going to be a lot more accurate, right? Which is great. But even though it looks like this, a lot of the work has been done, like especially the outlining around them in general, like in here and in here. Things that even in Photoshop, running a brush over it would be like very, very tedious. So it's already taken care of quite a bit. But you're not stuck with this. So even though this is what Lightroom has selected, you are not stuck with this. There's these fancy little add and subtract thingies over here. Let me get rid of this. There we go, make some more room. It's showing you your mask here, and it's saying that you selected the subject, and then there's add and subtract. And the add and subtract are what it has selected. So because it selected too much, we want to subtract. And then this comes up. So we want to subtract, and we're going to just do it with a brush. And then here's our brush. And we're going to just kind of remove all of this other stuff that is not actually the people that were, or, you know, even if it's not people, whatever it is that you're wanting to, you know, you want to leave alone in the photo. Over here. Again, it's still attention to detail for sure, but still, because it did like most of the work for you, it's really not that tedious. We're going to do some of this, and again, like I'm not, because of what we're going to do with this photo, it's not super important that you are like extra perfect. I do want to make sure though that we get rid of some of this, because this is still part of the background in there. And some of this over here. You know, it doesn't have to be crazy detailed, but we just want to make sure that we're lightening just what we want to lighten. Okay, so because the goal of this photo was to brighten them up and leave everything else behind, we have now selected them, and then we're going to go down here. We're going to hit exposure and we're going to turn it up just a tad. Just a tad. Like it's nothing, it's not crazy. You can get crazy. You can get crazy. Like clearly that does not look natural. But we're not going to get crazy. And then if you watched any other editing videos I've done, then you know that anytime you brighten things, you have to fix some things also. There's always, to me, in my opinion, there's always an up and a down. You can't just like brighten everything. It doesn't match. So for this one, I've obviously pulled up the exposure on them, but I am going to take the shadows and pull them back down just to give them a little more contrast. See how that just looks a little more natural? All right. See what I'm saying? Let's see. We'll hit done. Let me bring this back up and let's do a before and after. See how they're just a lot brighter. I did actually, before we started this video, I took the warmth down a little bit, so we're not looking at that. We're just looking at the overall exposure. I can pull the exposure up a little bit more. That looks so much better. So much better. Okay, so that's the first example that I want to show you. And then I want to show you one where if we were trying to fix the background. So that's fixing them. So using that subject select to fix them. Now I want to do one where we fix the background that's a little too bright. So what we're going to do with this one, again, we're going to use the masking. But for this one, I want to do a linear gradient because I want to try to kind of darken up the background a little bit on this. So I'm going to pull this down. And then I want to subtract them because I don't want them darkened at all. So I'm going to hit subtract and then I'm going to select subject. So then it's going to pull the red, that red mask you see off of them. See, just like that. All right, so now we go down here to our options. And we want to pull the exposure down. Like it's going to bring back the sky. I am going to be kind of dramatic with this one, just because the overall edit will look good. Okay, pulled the exposure down. It's really all I want to do for that. Okay. And now to edit the rest of the photo, I am going to brighten it back up, as weird as that sounds. I'm going to warm up the photo. Love that. Love that one. See how we kind of brought back the sky doing that? I love that for us. Okay. So yeah, that's it. That's all I really want to talk about. I think it's a really neat tool to kind of play with. Again, I still run everything through Photoshop, even if it's just to sharpen, because that's just what I do. But this is a really neat tool, and I think this will still save some time. I can do a little more editing in Lightroom, or if it's just going to be a quick edit on something. It is a lot quicker than doing the layers and whatnot in Photoshop, so I will give it that. All right, that's all I have on this topic. If you have any other questions or any fun things you found in Lightroom that you want me to go over, let me know in the comments. If you are not subscribed, please do so, and I will see you next time. Bye.